Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Sunstone, and today we are going to be going over everything that you missed in the latest official gameplay trailer for Coral Island by Stairway Games. So this is everything. This is a full breakdown. If you love the details, this is the video for you. If you're more looking for just the highlights of the trailer, I would highly recommend checking out my 10 things you missed in the trailer video. I will link that one in the description down below. That might be the video for you, but this one is gonna go frame by frame into an in-depth breakdown. So without any further ado, because there's a lot to cover, let's start at the intro of this trailer. So the first frame shows us the entrance to Coral Island, and we can get a wider view of this area in this photo of the player speaking with Lily. We can determine that this path to the left of the Coral Island sign is located here on the map. That means that over here on the left, we can get a very small glimpse at Frank and Erica's house. And in the background, we can actually just barely spot one of the statues from what appears to be some sort of fountain on the map. In the distance, we can see something that looks like pumpkins. So I'm wondering if, based off of what we see here on the map, if this is some sort of community garden in the center of town. If you look beyond these crops, you can see some sort of signage. I believe that is at the entrance to the museum. And then we can get a look at the outside of the community center back here based off of this clock, as well as the rainbow flag that we can just barely see. Over to the right, we can get a look at Sam's general store, that red door, the awnings. We can almost make out the text Sam's, as well as the produce stands off to the left. And we can see those birds on the power line as well. So it definitely looks like Sam's has gotten an upgrade since that first Kickstarter trailer. Something else we can spot is actually an espresso machine right here. So this does appear to be the coffee cart, which they showed off as an unfinished asset when they were teasing the shadow people. So this is out front of the Fish and Sip, and it looks like the roofing is to match the Fish and Sip. I definitely can't wait to see this coffee cart in all of its glory. Moving on to the next frame. Now, this does appear to be some sort of shortcut. I'm pretty sure that this is our player farm back here, just being viewed from a different angle, which is really interesting to see. We can see a ton of greenery in this shot, which I love. There's such a good variety. There's a butterfly of some sort up here. There is a morel mushroom and some sort of flower over here. These appear to be collectibles. There's some sort of awning over here, and it's hard to tell exactly what this could be because the newer map we've seen cuts off before this part of the map, whereas the older Starlet Town map doesn't really have anything in that area. It's just like the lighthouse and the diving spot. At this point, it's hard to say what this could be, but maybe just some sort of shade covering at the beach or near the beach or something like that. In this next clip, we get to take a look at the vineyard for the very first time. I love how the grapes look. I love the wooden sign. Now there's some nice seating areas in the back, so I wonder if there will be any events here, any cutscenes, romantic events perhaps. Maybe a festival could be held here. I feel like it's just a very event-worthy venue, so definitely curious about that. We can't really see the manor behind the vineyard itself, although this purple rooftop could be part of the manor or it could be a different building. It's hard to say. We can definitely see a patio over here, so it seems like the building would be over on this side, but we can see some stairs over to the left here, so maybe that goes up to this purple building. You can actually see someone walking up the stairs right here. You can just see their leg. The next clip, we get to take a look at a new version of the player house. I love how this looks. I love the shape of the building. I love the curvature. I love the patio, the stairs, everything. It looks great. I believe this will be an upgraded version of the player house. We get to take a look at some stretching animations. So I believe these would be idle animations. If we leave our player standing for too long, they might decide to have a little stretch. To the left, we can spot that fast travel totem, which we can use to get around to different spots on the island. We can also see our shipping bin, which is where we will leave anything that we've collected over the day, and it will sell overnight. And then finally, we can see a new version of the mailbox. I'm wondering if it has been customized to match this house, and if that's something we'll be able to do, or if it's just a coincidence that they both have yellow roofs and the older ones both had blue roofs. I think it's really cute that there's a birdhouse on the back of it because our mail is delivered by carrier pigeon, so it's sweet sweet that they have a little home as well with you on your farm. The next clip doesn't really show anything new. It just shows our player scything some grass. So you're gonna have a lot of grass to scythe and it might take a while. You can see that there will be an indicator for which tile you're currently carrying out an action on. We can see several different types of trees, some logs, weeds, and rocks, which will all be collectible resources. In the next clip, we get to take a look at another player customization, watering their crops. I'm not sure what any of these crops are because they're very early stages, but it looks like we have a couple different types. We have that scarecrow down here, which I think is really cute. And then we can see a new fence type that looks like it's made out of tree branches and that stone pathing. In this clip, we can see what looks like the older version of the player house with that blue mailbox. We can see the brick arch, fencing, and pillars that were previously featured in a developer update. We can see some plants, these statues that look very much like the goddess of flowers. We can see a bird cage, which I've said before, but I'm hoping this is just a decoration because I feel like there's no way for this bird to get in and out and this little guy needs to fly free. We have some wooden pathing, strawberry crops, pink flower crops. We can't really make out what these decorations on the left are just yet. We have some either lanterns or potentially totems for summoning the giants. We have a fountain with steps descending into the water. And then we have a pillar which appears that we can place an additional smaller object on top of, which I love. And then we also have that Wayang shadow puppetry stand over here with what looks like maybe a bench or a coffee table or something. And then some additional decorations that are just a bit too far out of frame to fully see. It's interesting. It looks like they have the older shipping bin back here. So I don't know if that's something that will get upgraded with your house. This clip is very similar to what we saw in the original Kickstarter trailer where your player is walking down through the farm and showing it all off. We can see some sus chickens in the background. We can see a piggy rolling through the grass, 2 cows, the luwak prancing in the grass, a durian plant, some fencing, a gate back here, and then we have quite a few crops. So we have grapes, pumpkins, eggplants, potentially daisies over here, and then bok choy, I believe, as well as 2 different types of stone pathing, and of course a friendly reminder that we can pet all the pets. The next series of clips is a montage of several different player customizations. So we get to see different skin colors, hairstyles and colors, physiques and running animations, and then a few of the different farmer overall options. On the right here, it looks like these are some birdhouses and some sort of decking. And then also looks like this grass is the same as what we find on our farm. So I'm thinking that we would be able to use our scythe on it and pick that up, which is something that actually is quite important because once you clear out all your farmland, you're like not gonna have any more grass, rocks. You might not want to cut down the trees that you have on your farm because they're for decoration. So there's gonna be a lot of resources that you'll be missing. So it's nice to know that it seems like they'll be around the island, so you'll still be able to go gather them in different spots. In the next clip, we get to take a look at the Cherry Blossom Festival, which looks like it is located next to the lake. This definitely looks like a lake, and this looks like those stairs that we've seen from a different angle that actually descend into the lake, so that's pretty cool. Over on the left, we can see just barely Emily entering the frame. There's also Sunny and Randy. Of course, Suki's on her power walk, and behind Suki is Oliver and Joko, who are fishing. Ling and Millie are reading their books. Theo is performing for the crowd. We have Betty, Scott, and Leah, who are all dancing ever so slightly. Ben and Macy are sitting down for a picnic, while Charles and Mayor Connor can be spotted off to the right. In the next frame of the Cherry Blossom Festival, we can see the potluck spread. We can see Paul, Frank, and Erica, as well as the player. We can see quite a variety of delicious looking foods, empty coconuts, more beautiful decorations. We can also see the traditional Indonesian dish that was featured in the artwork by David for Indonesian Independence Day with Eva. So that's really awesome to see. I think that's such a beautiful display. We can see Walter in a bit of a T-pose, not gonna lie. And we can see Mayor Connor, who has this flower icon above his head. So originally I was thinking this is just to activate whatever the main event is for the Cherry Blossom Festival. We're gonna just jump ahead because there is an extension of this scene a little bit further on where we're speaking with Lily, and you can barely see this, and I missed it the first couple times I watched this trailer, but there's another one of those bubbles above the potluck table. So I'm actually wondering if there's gonna be multiple of these little indicators around the festivals and maybe even around the island island to show you where you need to go to either further a quest, activate a quest, or complete some sort of task or mission. Like perhaps here we need to go place our food on the potluck table. There is an empty plate right there. So maybe we were supposed to bring a dish, and by walking up to this bubble and clicking it, it will give us the option to place our food on the table. But while we're on this shot, we can also see Sam, as well as Noah, Pablo down here, just barely, Raphael and Alice having a picnic, as well as Lily down here, who is like waving a taco around and emoting. So then taking it back a couple frames to the beach cleanup festival, we get to look at the main signage for the festival, which is out front of the beach shack over here on the right. We get to see Nina for the very first time posing for the camera with her bag of trash, and Macy is taking the photo, and she even has 2 cameras, so she obviously takes photography very seriously. In this next frame, we can see several of the NPCs participating in the beach cleanup festival. So Leah, who is drinking from a plastic water bottle, and I'm not gonna get started on my feelings behind that, but I think it's very rude of her. Then we have Charles with a shovel, and Dinda, who is collecting trash, as well as Surya, who has some trash in his hand. We can see a pile of trash over here that we could probably go pick up, and we can see the spiral staircase over here. So this is an extension of the main photo that was shared of the beach cleanup festival, where all the trash is laid out. So this is just like down and to the right of that area. There's also something going on over here, which it looks like maybe a boat of some sort is being dragged off the beach. It's hard to say, but there's something blue and yellow and it's moving. Let me know if you have any ideas for what this could possibly be. I'm very curious. I don't know if this piece up here is at all related to it, if it's some sort of flag or like sail. In the next frame, we get to see the beach shack, a very up close shot of a very cute crab behind a pile of trash. There's also a shell right here, which looks like a collectible item. The next frame is just a little bit further back and to the left from that previous shot. We get to see 2 boats that are docked, as well as one that is free floating. I don't know if we'll be able to use these at all. I don't know if these belong to anyone. It looks like there's also another collectible shell of some sort right off to the right here on the beach. And then we get to see Millie and Yuri's house back here. In this shot, we get to take a look at the underwater scenery and our player descending into the ocean by way of the anchor. So it looks like this is how we'll get in and possibly out of the water. We can also get a look at Kibble from the back. We can also see some jellyfish and a bunch of garbage, as well as a sand pile that presumably we could collect. In this clip, we get to take a look at the Coral Island current from a different angle, as well as our player standing out on the edge with Kibble. A lot of trash in this. I'm definitely hoping that as we clean the ocean floor, that level of cleanliness will then be reflected in the Coral Island current. Maybe this will even be a fast travel system to use underwater, getting around to the different diving maps, or even to visit the Merfolk Kingdom itself. Very curious still about this. I'm hoping that we'll learn more about it without it being too spoilery. In the next clip, we can get a look at the brand new Vaquatic, which is a tool used to collect trash via a suction method. So that appears to be very efficient and very satisfying. We can see a few different trash types. So there's sort of like general piles of trash. Then there's also rubber tires, giant plastic water bottles, and metal scraps. I'm wondering if all will be collected as the same resource, or if each different type of trash will have different corresponding resources, so like rubber, metal, plastic, etc. Definitely curious about that and how we'll be able to use them for crafting. This clip shows us the super coral. We don't really know a whole lot about this, but I'm imagining that we're going to basically be working to restore the coral through planting super coral that has been sort of raised to resist rising ocean temperatures. This looks like a successful outcome from our endeavors. I'm imagining this is something to monitor the temperatures or how the coral is doing, but it definitely looks like something that's collecting data and possibly sending it to Kibble or back to the lab, or both. Here's that shot of the beach cleanup festival from this fun angle. We have Zoe, Eva, the player, Raphael and Pablo, Betty, Ling, Archie, Anne, some other NPCs we can't really make out in the background, a shadow NPC, Kenny, and Zara. I'm wondering if this is actually Karen and they didn't want to show her off yet, so they just put her in as a shadow NPC. Because like I spoke about in my 10 things you missed in the trailer video, this this appears to be some sort of pufferfish stand selling coconut drinks. So the beach festival itself may even be hosted by pufferfish with probably shady ulterior motives. So I'm wondering if this could be Karen, or this is just one of the shadow NPCs that's attending the festival and it just got missed, or it's just to get us talking. I'm not sure, but there's a shadow NPC there for sure. I also really liked how there's 3 different bins to sort out the collected waste. So there's a garbage bin, I believe this is an organics bin, and a recyclables bin. And then the final clip is that shortcut that we can see on the map that's near our player farm. We've also seen this in a previous bug of the month. There's a red tulip back here, that same butterfly, and some coconut trees. I'm wondering if we can actually collect these coconuts and like cook with them or eat them. And then also you can see the back end of a frog up here. Well, there you have it, friends. That was everything that you may have missed in the latest Coral Island trailer from Stairway Games. Let me know if there was anything else that I missed that you spotted. As always, I look forward to hearing from you in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. And until next time, take care.